Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer and uncover the fascinating and honestly often hidden physical journey of the device sitting in your pocket right now. We all use our smartphones every single day, but very few of us actually stop to think about what happens to all that sophisticated hardware once we decide it's time for an upgrade. So today, we're going to trace that exact path, mapping out the smartphone lifecycle from your pocket to professional recycling. So here is our roadmap for today. We're going to look at Nepal's e-waste problem, the anatomy of a smartphone, the actual professional dismantling process, lithium-ion fire risks, those valuable circuit boards, and finally, how to recycle responsibly. Starting off with part 1, Nepal's e-waste problem, which is basically a growing mountain. To put this into perspective, according to the UN Global E-Waste Monitor, we're talking about an estimated 42,000 tons of electronic waste generated in Nepal in 2023 alone. 42,000 tons. That is a literal mountain of discarded tech, specifically e-waste mobile phones. And unfortunately, more than 95% of this waste is currently processed by informal sectors, often using really unsafe methods that put both human health and the local environment at serious risk. And you know what's really alarming? That volume is climbing by 18% every single year. 18%. That makes smartphones the absolute fastest growing category of e-waste in Nepal. And what's driving all this? Well, it's our quick device replacement habits. As the middle class grows and technology becomes more accessible, the obsolescence rate is accelerating. We are simply replacing our mobile phones faster than ever before. Moving right along to part 2, the anatomy of a smartphone. What is actually inside these things? A modern smartphone is this incredibly complex mix of materials. Sure, stainless steel and glass make up a huge chunk of the total weight, but there are two components we really need to focus on: the battery at 18% and the circuit boards at roughly 13%. These two pieces are the primary focus of the entire smartphone recycling process. Why? Because one represents a massive safety hazard and the other represents highly valuable, precious resources. Which brings us to part 3, professional dismantling, specifically looking at the Doko Recyclers process. You know, dismantling a mobile phone isn't just about taking a hammer to it. It's a highly methodical procedure. We're looking closely at the Doko Recyclers dismantling process for mobile phones, which shows exactly how professionals do this safely. Technicians wearing full personal protective equipment. We're talking safety glasses, specific PM 2.5 masks, and safety boots. Follow 4 very precise steps to neutralize any hazards and pull out the good stuff. The very first step, safely prying off the back cover to isolate the power source. This is absolutely critical. You have to remove the battery first without bending or puncturing it. Once that energy source is out of the way, the technician methodically unscrews the internal casing using specialized small screwdriver sets so they can actually access the inner architecture of the phone. Next, they carefully pry off the screen. And boom, you've got a fully deconstructed phone. The device is totally neutralized and organized by material type. The plastic casing, the display, the battery, and the printed circuit boards are all separated out so they can be routed to highly specific downstream processing destinations. All right, part 4, let's talk about the lithium-ion fire risk. It's basically a ticking time bomb. The absolutely crucial point here regarding lithium battery safety is that, yeah, it's safe while it's just chilling in your pocket. But a damaged battery, that becomes an immediate, severe fire hazard. In its normal state, it's perfectly fine. But if a technician accidentally drops, squeezes, or pierces that battery during manual handling, the lithium components oxidize. It sparks a rapid heat reaction that can easily ignite neighboring cells. We're talking dangerous fires or even explosions in a storage facility. It's honestly kind of crazy to think we casually carry these dense, volatile chemical cocktails around with us every single day without a second thought. A lithium-ion battery combines an anode, like graphite, super reactive cathode materials, separator plastics, and liquid electrolytes. Because of this incredibly complex chemical makeup, professional recyclers have to implement strict, temperature-controlled storage protocols. They keep them in dark, cool places and completely avoid dense packing. And right here is a massive logistical challenge. Because Nepal does not currently have a full-scale facility to process these complex batteries, they literally have to be stored safely and eventually routed to specialized international recyclers. Worldwide, lithium-ion battery recycling is extremely specialized, mostly happening in places like Belgium, the USA, Germany, and Canada. On to part 5, valuable circuit boards, the hidden treasure inside your phone.
Inside that phone, you've got printed circuit boards, or PCBs, processors, and RAM. In the recycling industry, these are categorized as very high grade. They are absolute treasure troves packed with concentrated amounts of precious metals like gold, silver, and palladium. But getting those metals out? That requires highly advanced integrated smelting infrastructure. And just like with the batteries, this capability isn't currently available within Nepal, so these very high-grade boards actually have to be exported for processing.
Now, when these phones end up in the informal sector instead of a formal facility, the results are honestly catastrophic. In a formal setup, these boards are stored safely and legally exported to specialized smelters. But untrained informal collectors, they often use horrific methods to extract that gold and silver. We're talking highly toxic acid baths, or just tossing the plastic parts into open-air fires. That releases dangerous brominated flame retardants and heavy metals straight into the soil, the groundwater, and the workers' lungs. Which leads us to our final section, part 6, recycle responsibly. This is your call to action. By simply choosing authorized collection points over untrained informal collectors, you are directly preventing toxic pollution. Literally. Never sell your old devices to informal scrap dealers who might just burn the cables for copper or dump the hazardous plastics into a local landfill. Furthermore, we all really need to support extended producer responsibility, or EPR frameworks. It's a proven policy approach that holds the original producers and manufacturers accountable for the entire life cycle of their products, which directly helps fund the safe collection and recycling infrastructure we so desperately need. So I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to chew on before your next upgrade. Knowing what you know now about the literal ticking time bomb of a damaged lithium battery and all those precious metals waiting to be recovered, where is your next smartphone going to end up? Will it be a source of toxic pollution or a safely recovered resource? Because that choice ultimately starts with you.